Hi everybody, good morning. I'm continuing doing junior pen test, penetration test path. I'm doing now easy one, subdomain enumeration. Subdomain enumeration learn the various ways of discovering subdomain to expand your attack surface and target. Most of CTF you'll use the last one using FAV. Usually whenever you use CTF, that's how to use to get subdomain for rooms. So this is where you mostly keep your notes for CTFs. This, the brute force and plus the 3R, this and search engine is, if you're doing bug bounty or something, you need these ones. For CTF, the last one is the virtual host. Um, I don't know what they call it, virtual host. Uh, no, if you start, for example, subdomain enumeration is the process of finding valid subdomain for a domain, but why do we do this? We do this to expand our attack surface to try and discover more potential points of vulnerabilities. We will explore three different subdomain enumeration methods: brute force, OSINT, open source intelligence, and virtual host. Now the question, this one is straightforward. The B is brute force because this is just entry level, so it's not like some kind of deep subdomain things. It's just a way to give you an introduction, because remember this one is a junior pen tester path, so it's not like some kind of fancy stuff. The last one is virtual host is still subdomain. I don't know why I forgot. It's good for me to revise this room. So this is brief, and of course we have the attack box, the usual same type of room for most of them. You have the IP of the machine 1010.2400. Usually if you are in CTF, you always start with nmap check, and you can see the port 80 is open on the rest of that one. Doesn't tell you to have a domain name here. It's still working IP. That's fine. Now we have also a quick. They didn't give us to, because to run this brute force things, they make it in simulation only. For example, they give us, for example, as I said, this is famous site for enumeration. It's good to have it. Uh, when an SSL TLS secure layer transport certificate is created for domain, for example, CA take part in what called certificate transparency log. You'll see anyone has a SSL will come here. So for example, if we search for tryhackme.com, there's a room also before, that's why I remember. So it's a transparency report, so you'll find all of them. So for example, if you go to crt.sh and search for domain name tryhackme.com, find entry that was logged in 2020, 26 December. Why is it taking long? Okay. 20 what? 2020. This is 25. Scroll down. How long we need to? 18. December 26. So you can come to the site and you can see store at TryHackMe. So this is one way to get the domain. Look at TryHackMe docs, you have store. You can see the tools that you can. That's one. So that's one of the tools you can see. SSL. So it means we have the first tool we can use is this one, the crt.sh identity search. Use it for emulation. This is a good room about this TryHackMe. OSINT basically is search. If you specifically do site and the filter, for example, site for domain name, the Dutch site, the W. So if you want everything will only contain result leading to the domain name domain.com, but exclude any link to www. Therefore it should only subdomain names belong to domain name. So this is a tricky fancy way to say search only subdomain. So if we search subdomain like that, and then we're looking for the subdomains start with an S. So if I go to Google and search for this, so basically it search for subdomain but minus exclude the main ones. So I already put it there. So search site, that one, and we can find now the business. We have business, business, business resources. I have business, so we can go down, business. Oh, then we have store. So we got our domain we're looking for is store@tryhackme.com. So if we go there, so store.tryhackme.com. Guys, this is a premium room, so if you don't have subscription you can't access to it, so that's fine. Now DNS Bruteforce. A Bruteforce DNS domain name system enumerate is the method of trying 10, 100,000 or even million of different possible subdomains from a predefined list of a command used subdomain. Because this method requires many requests, we automate it with a tool to make the process quicker. In this instance, we're using a tool called dnsrecon to perform this. If you can view site, this is just simulation. dnsrecon, you can see it if you want to install it in your computer. It's in GitHub. Is a Python part of Ruby script that we wrote to learn language about DNS and early. Okay, check out DNS record and things like that. You can see, but for you if you just start, it's not necessary for now. For example, it already give us a syntax DNS record minus tbrt minus d. So if you run it here, the simulation, and you can see is using this like a name list, and you find to record API and www is always find it, so we're not interested on it, so more interested in the next one. And then the next one is OSINT sublist 3R. To speed up the process of OSINT subdomain discovery, we can automate the above method with the help of tools like click. We can check it. This one is this one. This is also one new one. It's an old script but still working. Sublist3R is a Python tool designed to enumerate subdomain of website using OSINT. It helps penetration tester and bug hunter collect. Yeah, usually if you when you are more in pen test and bug hunting, you start using this tool, not when you just start your career. But it's good to know them, to know about them. And here if I'm usually most of the time we're more interested in the other ones, so you can copy that. The next one for CTF, when you do CTF, is the interesting part, the virtual host. Some subdomains aren't always hosted in publicly accessible DNS results, such as development version of web application or administration portal. Instead, DNS record could be kept in private DNS server or recorded on developer machine in etc hosts or Windows driver etc hosts file for Windows user. Which map domain name? So it means this one you can't use these tools to find it in public, because web server can host multiple websites from one server. When website is a request from client, then the server know which website. This is how you configure, for example, Apache or Nginx. Like we didn't said before, we can automate. Usually we use FAF for this. I copy the command there. Where is it? That command. So we have already FAF. You can see usually the syntax of FAF. Minus W, give it the word list. For DNS, usually we use the seclist discover DNS name list. Of course, you use the minus H for the header. The host, you always put that's a subdomain. You put the fuzz. Fuzz is related to FAF. FF. Now the name. This is usually sometimes when you scan with Nmap you will see it, or they will tell you in the room if you're doing CTF. So you have this IP is related to this host. So now we're trying to find what else. If you do this command like that in FAF, you can see too many of them happening. So you cancel and then you do minus F size, and you look what size you have here. The size I have is this. I'm not interested in this one because it's always give you say look for the size. You're looking for the unique one that says subdomain, because same word it is not subdomain. So when you do this, now it start finding the real one, delta and yellow. So if I want to do, I can go to my computer now, open, and go to vime it. If you are in a city, so what's going on here? Vim etc hosts. If I was in CTF, I will come here. What I did? If I'm in CTF now, so I know the IP machine, I can just come there and paste that IP. And now we have delta and yellow, so we've been finding this, so you can just do that. Delta dot, and we have also yellow. And if I save them, then I come to my browser and see what is delta dot first subdomain found from virtual host enumeration. And if I do yellow, it say the second. So that's how when you are in CTF sometimes when nmap or the room tell you there is a subdomain, you can add them later on. When you find them, put them, and then you start enumerating the you continue doing your website or your page. So now what's the first was delta. Yeah, it's an easy room because I said this is just introduction part of the junior pen tester. I will try to do most of the rooms for you. The most part of this is to put in your in tools is this, the fifth one. That's most interesting part. The other this and the other ones are more later on. If you start doing bug bounty or something, because you get public DNS and things, you can use that one. For now, this one is more fine. Thank you very much everybody, and I hope you like it. Have a good day. Thank you.